Hey Warriors, I'm Ben, and today on Android Gamespot we're gonna talk about 7 Rockstar games that will probably be released on mobile. And before we start, just a quick reminder to turn on your notification bell if you haven't, so you don't miss out on the new videos. Starting with number 7, Manhunt is a stealth-based survivor horror game that was originally released in 2003 for the PlayStation 2. The game was also re-released for the PlayStation 3 and 4 in 2013 and 2016. So that tells us that Rockstar still cares about the game and that it still has an audience. You play as James Earl Cash, a death row prisoner forced to take part in a series of snuff films. If you don't know what that is, well, it's a type of movies where, for example, a person is actually murdered instead of having the whole thing being acted out. Yeah, pretty dark, I know. Despite the controversy the game gathered thanks to its high graphic violence and even being banned in some countries, the game still managed to get a sequel and sold over 1.7 million copies collectively. The Warriors is our number 6 and it is based on a B-movie from the 70s and it's a beat-em-up game in large 3D environments that takes place in New York City. The story follows a street gang known as, yeah, you guessed it, the Warriors. And shout out to all of you Android Gamespot Warriors out there, and they have been framed for a murder that they did not commit. So hell breaks loose. The game was out in 2005 for the PlayStation 2 and Xbox, and later the PS3 and PSP got their versions as well, with a PS4 release that came out more than 10 years later in 2016, so an Android and iOS version could be right around the corner. The Midnight Club Saga hops in at number 5, and it's a series of games that focus on street racing at night, cause you know, we're illegal like that. You play as a cab driver who finds out about this secret underground life and decides to join in to race for pride, power and glory in some fast sports car in cities like LA, London or New York. And best of all, the games use an open world environment and we just don't have a decent open world racing game with a story mode on mobile, so wink, Rockstar. Number 4 is Max Payne 2, and since the first game is already out on mobile, the thought that Rockstar may release the sequel makes a lot of sense. You get back in the shoes of Max Payne in a story of love, death and betrayal with a heavy film noir emphasis. The game was initially released on the PlayStation 2, Xbox and PC back in 2003, and I'm sure I'm not the only one who thinks that this should be a decent addition to Rockstar's mobile catalog. Red Dead Revolver is our number 3, and it was first released in 2004 on the Xbox and the PlayStation 2, and it is the first game in the Red Dead series in which you play as Red in a western action-adventure third-person shooter game taking place in 1880s Wild West. And the fact that Red Dead Redemption 2, the third game in the series, is scheduled for release in 2018, it isn't too out of context that Rockstar may decide to throw Revolver in the mix on mobile. Number 2 is Grand Theft Auto 4, and it is my personal favorite after GTA 5, and also the game most of you are asking about. GTA 4, which up to the year 2013 has sold over 25 million copies worldwide, breaking many sales records along the line, is simply put a masterpiece of open world action adventure game, and to me it is the end vision that Rockstar developers had for GTA 3 but were limited by the technology of the time. You play as Niko Bellic, an Eastern European immigrant who arrives to New York City, Liberty City, to pursue the American dream. Lots of drug dealing, backstabbing, betrayals, car chasing, strip dancing, gang banging, no pun intended, gun shooting, they went all out in this game. And as much as we do currently have mobile devices that could run the game at decent frame rates, we're talking the Razer phone, the Nvidia Shield tablet and so on, it's just not that common. The good thing though is that it's bound to happen. With Snapdragon processor that keep getting more and more powerful and more affordable, I strongly believe we'll get a special visit from our dear friend Nico, and who knows, maybe even Luis and Johnny. Number 1 is GTA Vice City Stories, and unlike many people think, the game takes place actually before the events of Vice City, and you play as Victor in the crime world of the 80s with the beautiful vintage sports car, some great classic tunes, and the new empire building gameplay elements which fuses the properties mechanics of Vice City with the gang wars of San Andreas. Seeing as both GTA Liberty City and Liberty City Stories got a release on mobile, it's only reasonable to believe that not only we'll get Vice City Stories on mobile hopefully soon, but that is highly likely to be Rockstar's next mobile game. And that sums up our 7 Rockstar games that will probably be released on mobile. And now I want to hear from you down in the comments section. Which of these games do you want to see on mobile? Or maybe you think Rockstar is better off making a new GTA game exclusive to mobile devices? Drop it like it's hot down below, and if you enjoyed this video, I would appreciate your thumbs up. Also, if you're not subscribed, it's a good idea to go ahead and do so, as we release new videos like this every week. And the best way to see them is to subscribe. Once again, I'm Ben, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time right here on Android Gamespot.